It's Krocks Try, Volume 2, with a special guest.
Welcome to Krocks in the Kitchen.
I'm Brian.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Ray.
Yes, we are in Huntsville in Ray's kitchen, kind of slightly right next to it. But we are having an absolute blast down here, and we have a lovely experiment that we are going to do today, and we're calling it Fun with Fruit.
Ooh.
Fun with fruit.
I legit don't know what the heck we're doing. These two are in cahoots and they know what we're doing. And I have been asking questions and they have been giving me no answers. So for all I know, I'm about to get drugged. So, it's cool.
But, Ray, what actually are we doing today?
So we're going to play a little fun with taste. And there is, well, first of all, when we talk about fruit in Healthspan Solution, it's sweets. And this is instead of sugar, instead of donuts and
Pie.
cupcakes and pie. This is kind of what we wanted to sweet. But it turns out that often when we go to the store, fruit isn't as sweet as we think it should be, or it's not as ripe as it should be. What we're going to do today is have a little fun with fruit and play with its flavor without adding sugar.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So what are we adding?
Yeah, so first thing I want you to do is we're going to sample a couple of things because I want you to get sort of a baseline of what this tastes like. So, maybe like, for example, let's take a strawberry.
Okay, strawberry.
Strawberry. I'm taking this one.
I'll take the other half of it.
It's an okay strawberry. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a raspberry.
Raspberry.
Right? Try a tomato.
Uh,
I don't like tomatoes.
I'm not big on the raw tomatoes either.
I know, but we're going to change all that. Right?
That's actually a pretty sweet
Right.
tomato.
Yeah, right. And just for fun, grab one of these grapefruits. I know you like grapefruit.
You
don't
love grapefruit.
Okay. I haven't had grapefruit in a very, very long time.
Mm-hmm. Grapefruit.
Right. All right, so with that done, yeah, and that's the point. So with that done, I'm going to give you guys both something, and it's going to take a little bit of it's going to take a while for this to dissolve in your mouth. You don't want to really chew it up. So
Oh, it goes in our mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like gonna go on the stuff.
No, it's not like some random powder. That you
Wait,
do.
so now I'm just taking
It's not
some
a
random
suppository.
tablet
Yeah.
that Ray Cronise gave
so
me?
you're going to put this in your mouth, and I'm going to do it in a second too, but I'm going to talk for a second, talk about what this is. So.
Did yours
Go ahead.
come
Go
from
ahead,
the
yeah.
same thing that ours came
So
from?
yeah, and you want to let it just will have no taste, and just let it dissolve on your tongue.
Like on the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, just put it on your
just in
tongue and
there,
just sort of let it.
It's going to
don't
take a
chew it.
while.
Don't chew it. Just let it
So
dissolve.
what this is
Kind of spread it around.
is the pulp, or actually the extract of a thing called miracle fruit. And miracle fruit has this interesting protein in it called miraculin, which blocks your ability to taste sour. And so as we look at all of these fruits, and remember when we talk about it, if you listen to the Science and Saucery podcast with Ali Bouzari, or the one with Gary Beecham, what you find is that taste, there are those basic flavors, and it's not the tongue thing that everybody's used to where the sweet's here and the salt's there or whatever, but really there are these receptors for these basic flavors: sweet, salt, salty, bitter, umami, sour. But also there's flavor, which has to do with the aroma that you have, the visual that you have, also things like the experience, if you have a good or bad experience with food, the ambiance, the atmosphere of the restaurant, all these affect flavor, your memories, what you associate with it. So flavor is sort of a higher level thing. And for example, if you take two peaches of equal sweetness, and one of them smells really like a floral peach, and you taste it, it will taste sweeter, even though it's no sweeter. But what this is going to do is we're going to play now with all these flavors because we're letting this dissolve. And I'm going to probably have you do one more. Is yours dissolved yet?
No. Still working on it.
So I think at this point we're going to end up having to do the fast forward thing.
Speed up.
We can always do magic.
So now we're going to go back with that done. And now I want you guys to taste that strawberry. And now, before you have this, I'm going to prime you a little bit.
Okay.
Imagine what a perfect, ripe, delicious strawberry might taste like, right?
Okay.
Like we get that perfect. Because the other one was kind of bland. It wasn't that. I mean, it was good,
It was
but it was
decent.
decent, but it wasn't. Try the strawberry now.
I'm gonna take this
No, I wanted that one.
Okay, fine, yeah. Take this one then.
We always fight.
Isn't that crazy?
That's like the sweetest strawberry of all time.
Oh my gosh.
Try the raspberry. Listen, this is going to taste like you've always wanted a raspberry
It's
to
like
taste.
so sweet.
Like taste of raspberry. This is what a raspberry should taste like. Isn't that amazing?
Man, it almost tastes artificial.
Right. Right.
That's trippy.
Now back to that tomato you were talking about. Grab
One
a
more tomato.
You will never have a tomato like this until. Tastes like a piece of candy, doesn't it?
That's trippy.
Isn't it crazy? Try blueberry. We didn't have blueberries earlier, but really like a blueberry.
This texture of a tomato is still like the weird thing that I don't like about it.
You know,
Isn't that blueberry flavor?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it like, and it get a couple of them so you really get a
Yeah.
good. See that? Try the blackberries.
Okay.
These blackberries, we didn't try them earlier, but they're not perfect. But watch what happens when you try these. The most incredible blackberry you've ever had.
Oh, yeah.
Try that piece of.
No, one more.
One more.
I want more blueberries. Damn.
And here's an interesting thing.
Okay.
Here's lemon.
Wait, I'm gonna try. Are we supposed to try that?
We're going to get there, but I want you to try a lemon.
Lemon.
Bite in. It's a lemon.
It's a lemon.
Bite into a lemon.
Okay.
It's like lemonade, isn't it? Isn't that crazy? Do you know, you don't think of a lemon having that much sugar in it, do you?
No.
Isn't that a surprise? The same here with lime. And bite in, but don't get the pith, so you don't get any of the bitter. You just bite in, and so it just juices. Do you just get the juice? Isn't that crazy?
That's weird. That's very weird.
I mean, you really like it. I mean, it's really.
Yeah.
Try this grapefruit. Now,
Yeah.
you remember how you reacted last time?
All right.
Try this grapefruit. Now that's what a grapefruit should taste like.
Wow.
Isn't that delicious?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Okay.
If grapefruit actually tasted like that,
Are you
like
gonna
all
go
the
for
time.
another piece of grapefruit?
yeah, I will. Just because.
Brian would never go for another piece.
No, we had these.
I
Yeah,
need
you another
I need
strawberry.
another strawberry.
Get a piece of watermelon.
It's all too good.
Grab a piece of watermelon.
Okay.
You didn't try it earlier, but it's pretty bland. The watermelon's actually pretty bland. But with this, it just tastes phenomenal. So what's really great about this is that, at first, it's great with kids because kids love to do this. And we're going to do some more extreme things here in a second.
Wow.
But try the orange. And again, the orange is really a bland orange. You didn't have it before, but we'll taste it later and you'll see. Just delicious orange flavor. Pineapple. Now, pineapple's weird because it has a really sour, acidic background. Watch what happens to this. Just like sugar. Isn't that crazy?
That's like pure pineapple juice almost, like flavor, you know?
But this is actually really tart when you're really tasting it.
Wow.
So,
I'm gonna keep eating.
I'm
yeah,
confused.
we have our scuppernongs and muscadines too. We had those last night for the first time.
What did
sure.
you, what did you do to us, Ray?
Yes.
So how long will this last for?
Just about 30 minutes, an hour. The weaker ones you have to do more than once, yeah. Because these aren't. The other brands will be even more intense than what we're experiencing. I know you did too, so that's better.
So
Don't forget about the bitter seeds that are in the middle.
Yeah.
yes, that's a
You
thing.
learned that
That's the
last
only
time.
problem with eating this is there's seeds in the middle.
But isn't that just delicious? And also try this sun-dried tomato because it has and we'll do this in another demo at some point, but this has an umami element, but it also will have a really sweet, like you can't believe that it tastes that sweet.
Get your stuff out.
Brian did it with skill. She's like ducking
I'm like
behind.
sitting here chewing because I'm like,
Man.
I'm like, Ray, shut up so I
Isn't
can
that
get
delicious?
these seeds out of my mouth gracefully.
Try this.
That's almost like,
Try the sun-dried tomato.
yeah, try
Okay,
that.
sun-dried tomato. I'm gonna eat it.
It almost has like a sweet jerky kind of flavor
Yes.
to it.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, because you're getting both. So this is umami. If we do this with another demo, for umami, you really get that umami sense of that umami flavor. We'll do that later.
Dang.
that's crazy.
This is all way too good.
Now, this is really surprising, but
Okay.
this is, I want you guys to just each take a little sip. That's apple cider vinegar. Now, don't take too much because it's still vinegar, but you won't believe that it's vinegar. Like, it's delicious.
Well,
Still tastes like vinegar, but yeah, it's like,
But it's not like shooting vinegar.
it's not like shooting vinegar.
This one's a pear vinegar.
All right.
I don't do vinegar like this.
I know. Just a little bit. You're going to be surprised.
Very weird.
That tastes like syrup, dude.
I know it. Isn't it
Wait,
crazy?
so which one is that?
That's the pear vinegar.
Pear vinegar?
I use pear infused vinegar for
Just take a little bit.
yeah, because you'll fool yourself and you'll get a stomach ache. And then this is just
Very
regular.
strong.
This is regular champagne or white wine vinegar. But again, just very mild compared to what it would normally taste.
Yeah. I know it's mild, but it kind of went down the
Yeah,
wrong pipe.
yeah.
there.
That's why I said you got to be careful with it because it's easy to overdose.
Interesting. Overdose.
And of course, there's a lot of other things that you can try, but all the acidic fruits, certainly all the ones that are tart, you'll get a real big response.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to just be an experiment. I originally was using this at one time, even with clients, but I originally did this back when I first converted to plant-based because I would be shopping at Costco or Sam's, and I knew about this because it's something I had done before. It's called food tripping,
Yeah.
and it's something for years I had known about. And I just really had this craving for sweet stuff, and so I would make a large fruit salad, and it tasted okay. But what you noticed is that it's not just that it's sweeter. If you just put sugar on fruit, you do not get this.
No.
This
It tastes more like the fruit. Like you get more of the fruit. Like the blueberry tastes like a blueberry. Like
Yeah.
more blueberry.
and like Brian said, some of it actually goes to the point of feeling a little artificial, like
Yeah.
the raspberry, where it seems,
you get-
but it's still good. But it.
The blueberries are the best.
So I would actually get these and I would do one of these little tablets and eat a big fruit salad, not because I didn't like that, but because the fruit wasn't as ripe, the mangoes weren't as ripe or whatever. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like what you're doing right now. It just tastes good, bite after bite after bite.
Yeah.
The pineapple is
Which one was your favorite, B? The grapefruit.
Probably the strawberry, the watermelon, and the lime, actually. That lime was pretty awesome.
I like the lemons. You know, when I was a little kid, one time I decided to take a whole lemon with me for lunch, and that's what I ate for my lunch, and it was not a good idea.
Oh, that lime is actually good.
Yeah.
I mean, it tastes like limeade, like you would have on a snowball or something.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon.
And some of the other brands, if you get the M-berry, I'm salivating all over myself. If you get the M-berry brand, it will take that last little bit of tart that you're tasting now out of this,
Yeah.
and it will taste as artificially lime as that raspberry tastes raspberry. Because this raspberry, when you taste this later, you're going to find, after this wears off, these raspberries are not very good.
Well, so, okay.
This is just super crazy
You're just
good.
going to keep eating and eating and eating.
I am.
I am.
I'm still confused why the whole thing works. I'm just like,
So yeah, it's just a protein. So let's talk about what proteins are, since we're always talking about protein in the context of protein, carbs, and fat. let's talk about the real definition of protein. Proteins are these long chains of amino acids, like the letters in an alphabet that make the words, the sentences, the paragraphs, the chapters of our genetic book of life. And so each one of these tens of thousands of proteins, plural, in each of our cells has a different function. For example, insulin is a protein that has around 51, 52 amino acids in it, and its function, of course, is it facilitates with glucose, but also is a big anabolic protein in terms of growth in general. But there are tens of thousands of proteins. And the way proteins basically work is the sequence of these amino acids and how they're shaped and how they interact with water or lipids causes them to fold in a three-dimensional shape. And that folding ends up creating things that are like active sites. So you might have one protein that has a little of a cup and another protein that has a little nub, and when they come together, boom, the protein is activated to do its thing. In this case, for some reason, this protein on this fruit has evolved in such a way that it basically blocks a certain receptor on your tongue, and you no longer sense sour. So sour is when these taste receptors, and they're very complex. We talk a little bit, Gary Beecham and I talk a little bit more about what the physics of this is in that Science and Saucery podcast. But that sour is sensed through these various receptors, and you have receptors for sweet. It's interesting, hummingbirds have lost all of their receptors for sweet, and yet at the same time you'd think a hummingbird would need sweet because it goes for nectar. It's repurposed its umami sensor for sweet.
Oh, okay.
And on the other hand, a panda, which is a carnivore, but it eats bamboo, has lost its umami sensor and does have that sort of sweet sensor. So it's really interesting that it's much more complex when we look at it, and we can genetically see these markers now. So we're not just guessing with them. You can actually see these markers. So anyway, what ends up happening is this protein that's in the skin or the flesh of this fruit. The fruit, when you actually get it, it's a small berry, and it's mostly just pulp on a large seed. So if you actually really get miracle fruit, you get sometimes in Asia, you can get it. Sometimes in bigger markets and places, you'll get some, and you just sort of eat the outside of it, and it's got a little of a bitter flavor, and it's got it doesn't have a lot of flavor to it, a little astringent in terms of how it is, but it really knocks out your flavor fast when you have a real one.
Gotcha.
It's just inconvenient to have to scrape all of it off the seed. But that protein blocks completely the sour flavor. And so what you're seeing is not that there's more sugar and not that there's more fruit, but this is just pushing down sour. And the stronger the brand, if you have some of the other brands, I don't know if we can reach those, but if we have some of the other brands, like M-berry or this one green berry, the green one, I guess you can show the box or saying this. But these are just, they're really great. You just take one of them and it just knocks it all out, and it's really neat. So anyway, this is, I think, both fun to do. It's a great thing to do with kids. If you're going to do it with your kids, it probably helps to do it once so that you can kind of figure it out. And I would also stay away from vinegars with kids because you really can drink too much, and it causes like a heartburn sort of thing. So you don't want to do that. But with all the fruits and the lemons are a big hit because they just can't believe it. Of course, it's not great for their enamel and their teeth, but you know, one time is not going to hurt them. They need to eat more fruit. So
I'm going to go for the strawberry.
Well, I am thoroughly impressed by this. This was absolutely a blast. But yeah, this pineapple though, it's just amazing because it really does taste like the best version of the fruit that I think that I've ever had. Like, I mean, I've had really good pineapple before, and that is on par with that. Like, I've had really good strawberries before, that is on par with that.
And that's what you're gonna find.
And the raspberry though, like, I don't think I've ever had a raspberry that actually tasted like that. But I mean, like that blueberry flavor. I mean, that's the kind of like blueberry flavor you get when you really like utilize blueberries well in like a dish or something like that. But
when
like
it's cooked down.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that'd
it's
be
like reduced down.
reduced.
Yeah,
and then like
that's
and
what
even the tomatoes were sweet there too. Like it still had that sort of acidic background there that tomatoes often do, but it was still a very sweet tomato. But the sun-dried tomato, like, good lord, I could probably like just like eat a bag of that.
You got a bag
There's
right
a bag
behind you.
you.
But yeah, this was absolutely enlightening as far as like what we can actually do to mess with flavors and how it sort of interacts with us on our palate and stuff. So yeah.
And best of all, we're not dead, at least yet.
We're not dead yet. But is that it? Are we done?
That's it.
I think that's it. You can do your closing.
All right. Let's see. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and click the bell notification that is right next to it. You'll get notified whenever we post a new video. You can also find us on social media, Facebook and Instagram, and you can interact with us there. Also, if you don't mind, please like and share the video as well so we can grow the channel even further. Ray, author of Healthspan Solution and a bunch of other stuff as well. Please check out all his stuff. We will have links in the description below. But I think that's all I got.
That's definitely all I got.
Is that all you got?
That's all I have.
We will see you next time on Krocks in the Kitchen. Bye.